thank you for this opportunity to be able to present to you. On my first slide, and hopefully you can see it, it's a little bit small, but it's a moniker that we're actually using now at WSU Everett, and that's adapting to today, preparing for tomorrow. And I think it's a saying that's very relevant to where we are as a campus and where we are as a university as well, just given the challenges in this time. And so in this next slide, kind of gives you a sense of WSU Everett at this time, and WSU as a system. And in fact, it is a very interesting time for us in that this is the first fall where we've started courses and we're 100% distance learning. And so that's the first time in the history of WSU as a system. And even though we have started online, I just have to say that our students are not just surviving, they're actually thriving. And one of the things that we talk about with our student population is the fact that the type of skills that they have to use in this current environment are skills that will advantage them as they move forward and enter business and industry. These are very much 21st century skills, and their ability to work online, work in groups, communicate online, to actually receive information online. Those are things in the digital, on digital platforms. That's something that's going to benefit them as they move forward, because we know that business and industry is really going to be focused on how they are able to utilize these electronic platforms moving forward, whether they're working on global teams or national teams. These are ways to spend money, whether it's national conferences. They'll be moving in a direction where they'll be using these digital platforms because it's a cost saver and it's more efficient in a lot of different ways. So of course we've had a lot of other things to contend with along with the pandemic. This kind of social awakening and social unrest. On top of that, we've had wildfires, and is really impacted some of our campuses more east, even our Vancouver campus being close to Oregon. And so the whole Northwest has really experienced some tragedy from the fires. And even though we're in an online format now, some of our campuses had to actually fully close down. So some of our critical faculty members and staff members, we just had to make sure that they were safe. And so we had to close our campuses on a couple of occasions. And so it's really been a different time for us. But as I mentioned, even at that, I think that our students are still thriving in this environment. I think one thing else I'll mention about Washington State University is that we've been very fortunate in that we are used to providing education at a distance. And so we have a couple of resources. We have our global campus, which is 100% online. So through our global campus, our faculty members have been able to get support in delivering their coursework and how to effectively deliver that coursework. Along with that, we have our AMS system, our academic media services system, which is two-way audio video. And for example, Washington State University Everett and our campus, I'd say about 90, maybe 95% of our classrooms, our conference rooms, and our seminar rooms have two-way audio video. So we originate coursework that we send to Pullman, Vancouver, Tri-Cities, and even Spokane. And then we also receive coursework from those locations as well. And so last year at this time, we actually moved that to a Zoom platform. So it was just in time for us to be able to work through some of the challenges of working at a distance. And so I think we were well equipped for that. I think that we were probably one of the more well equipped university systems in the United States to be able to deal with that. So, and then this past summer, of course, we went online as well. But again, having had this experience, I think it was something that our faculty and our staff were more well prepared for. And so we have been able to continue to deliver a high value education to our students. I think that's something very important to point out. Moving on. This is something I just want to kind of reiterate, and I think it's important, especially at this time, but also just in general, to talk about the value of the baccalaureate degree. Are you seeing my the value of degree? Yep. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm on the right slide here. Yeah, and so I think this is something really important to point out at this time. And so essentially what this slide says is that in 2019, individuals who had an associate's degree were able to earn 19% more than their peers that had the high school diploma only. So almost 20% more in terms of their earning potential. Similarly, those individuals with the baccalaureate degree were able to earn 67%, almost 70% more than their counterparts with the high school diploma. So what that says is that the baccalaureate degree is still a valuable degree. It says that the associate's degree is definitely a very valuable degree, and that post-secondary education is still valuable to our citizens and our population. Just a lot of chatter about, wasting time in college and that sort of thing. But I think it's something that is very important to point out, especially at this time. I'll give you an example. WSU Everett is almost 40% first generation students. And one of my biggest fears going into this fall was that we would have a lot of students who would stop out, a lot of students who would take a gap year. And then for a student who's a first generation student, that could be a spiral. And so I was really scared about that. We're fortunate that our students did come back, and we had a very robust, we have a very robust fall. So my next slide kind of points that out. And so this fall, we actually had an increase of 3% in terms of our enrollment. Not quite the double-digit increases that we've had in the past. Of course, we have a small student population, but still an increase. And I had a conversation with a good friend and mentor who's back in Maryland, and I told him that we had a 3% increase in our student enrollment this past fall, and he said that's unheard of. And it pretty much is around the country. What we found is that universities really experienced a decrease in enrollment just because of all the turmoil around our global pandemic. But we were fortunate in that we did see a 3% increase. Of course, as I mentioned, we're still very small, but I think what this says is that WSU Everett is primed for growth. It says that WSU Everett is important within the North Puget Sound and within our community, and that we have a real opportunity to continue that growth. And so here I have outlined our degree program offerings: data analytics, our engineering programs, hospitality business management, integrated strategic communication, and organic and sustainable agriculture. And I just want to mention here, haven't said this in many places, but one of the things that we're working on is the baccalaureate degree in business administration. And so it's working its way through Faculty Senate now, and hopefully, keep my fingers crossed, we'll have some word on whether that's going to be viable, and we'll know sometime in December, and hopefully we can have kind of a soft start in January of this upcoming year. We'll have to see on that one. So, but that is the degree program we're working on now. And of course, we want many, many more degrees in the future. See, my time's running out here. Accessibility is a #1 focus for WSU Everett. In fact, we have a strategic plan which really outlines 6 pillars, and our top pillar is access. That's why we brought WSU to the North Puget Sound region to provide access for the citizen population. So in order to do that, what we've done is we've really worked on hard to do some fundraising. And so we've developed 3 endowed scholarships. So those are scholarships that are going to continue in perpetuity. We are working hard to establish our food pantry. We have one for our students because we have some students who experience food insecurity. And so we get a lot of donations for that. And we want to continue to keep those donations coming in. And then one of the things that we've been fortunate to have, and this is through the Pullman campus, we do have some scholarships for our students who show merit. And so each year we have students who come in, and if they reach certain criteria, then they're able to get some dollars towards their tuition. And so that's been very helpful. It's not something that's going to be able to go on forever, but so what we're hoping is that through our fundraising, we can replace some of those dollars that we're now getting from Pullman. The final thing I just want to point out here is that we've increased in several areas: student retention, our veteran student population, and our women's student population have increased. And then just to close, because I know I don't have much time, is rural health care. So we have the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine, and it's a really unique model, a distributed model, which means that we now have medical students in the North Puget Sound region. We have a total of 71 who are assigned to Everett and the North Puget Sound region. We have a total of 31 who are now in the North Puget Sound region full-time, and each year we will get more students that'll come in full-time. And then the real big news is residency. We have the first accredited residency for the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine, and it is in the North Puget Sound in Everett at Providence Hospital. And so this year there'll be 16 slots, and then we'll add 12, and then 12 more for a total of 40. And so each year we'll have 40 residents. And then so the important piece to this is that when you can have, and you see at the bottom of this slide, it outlines the fact that if you're able to have students learn, get their medical education in an area and then do their residency in an area, they're 70% more likely to stay in that area. So we're happy to have the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine, and we love the fact that we have those students working on their medical degrees, but we want them to stay. And then with this residency program, it's going to help us to do that. So that's it, and thank you very much for your time. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but it's a pleasure to be able to present this information to you, and hope to be able to come back and present some more information post-pandemic.
Well, thank you very much for the presentation. Lots of good information, a lot of great things happening at WSU Everett. And I think it's all of the citizens in the Northwest area need to realize what great things you're able to do at your campus. Commissioner Dahlstead, do you have anything to add?
No, Paul, that's really great. It's great to see that expansion and the hard work that you're putting in down there at Everett. And thanks to all of you presenters. If you're not a shameless self-promoter, nobody knows what you're doing. And I know that Skagit County has been a long-time supporter of the extension programs and our partnership with WSU, and I think these quarterly reports are really important so that the public can see why are we funding it, because there's a lot of really important things being done. So thank you so much from all of you, and continued work.
Commissioner Janicki?
Yeah, Thank you, Don. I thought you were kind of brave to leave Dr. Pitre till the very end, but I'll let you guys figure out the in-house politics about how that works. But batting cleanup, you did a fine job there. It was a home run, so you're good. No, thank you. It is exciting to hear what is happening across the extension programs and the Everett campus. I didn't know that. And, in full disclosure, Paul and I both sit on the EDAS board. So I think it's wonderful to have the input from higher education and what that intersection is with, how do we take these students, get them through school and then get them employed. And so the nexus between higher education and business is so important. So Paul, in particular, I want to thank you for being here today. Donnie, you always have an information-packed update for us, and what a wonderful team you continue to keep there at the Extension office. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And I'd also want to thank you all for the presentations. Lots of great information. Really enjoy having these on a quarterly basis. And as mentioned before, there's just so much information that WSU Extension in Mount Vernon is able to do. And it's really nice to see what WSU Everett is going on there. A lot of great things going there. So once again, thank you very much for the presentation. Hopefully you'll get some calls from this once we get it online and have people watch it.